When we open the door, it connects to
Downstairs.
no, it connects to the. I think it's when it's outside for some reason. To check whether we are bent or otherwise, because this thing can be very foolish.
Who is we? When this are speaking French?
I want to block you everywhere, Tega. This is Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station, 17 minutes past 8 a.m. on a hump of the week, Wednesday morning. You're tuned into the Smooth Breakfast. Yours truly is Ayokunmi. And we're about to take a walk into the locker room, take a look at the stories making the rounds in the world of sports. We've got a couple of things that we need to get through, updates to bring you, and of course, banter is definitely going to be flowing around along the way. Welcome once again to an amazing time on the radio. Joining me in the studio, live and direct, the sports Amazon herself, one and only, standing tall or sitting in this particular situation. Tega is in the studio. Tega, very good morning to you. Great to have you join me in the locker room.
It's not good to join you.
It is.
Good
it
morning, everybody else.
oh,
I
wow.
love you.
Everybody else. Okay.
I want you in the locker room. I don't know about Ayo. He knows what he did. All right. On that note, where am I? Yeah, I don't know about you. But I'm happy to see all of you. All right, so what happened this week? The NBA playoffs happened this week. We're going to touch a little bit on it. Lakers game finished early hours of this morning. So if you see me drop to the side, I'm not sleeping. I'm just resting my eyes. All right. So we'll talk about the Lakers game too, as they took on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll also touch on the Madrid Masters that is starting. Well, started yesterday, and Naomi Osaka already knocked out. What is going on? We'll address the situation in today's show. We'll also talk about Manchester City. Suddenly, cock has crowed in Manchester like this. At least the blue side of Manchester. They now want to go to Champions League by force. We'll touch a little bit on how they want to achieve that. Where else are we going? Where else again? Arsenal plays today.
Yeah, we're going to Spain as well.
Yeah, we're going to go to Spain as well because I don't know what's happening with Barcelona. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about Arsenal, and then we'll touch off a little bit with promotions into the Premier League because we already have two relegated teams going down, and we know who they are: Leicester City and Southampton. Now we know who's coming up.
At least two of them.
At least two of them are coming up, and the shocker of one of them that's coming up is that the coach that's bringing one of them up has brought two other teams up that are still up in the Premier League. The coach that brought in Fulham, and the coach that brought in Bournemouth. If you can remember him, Ayo has a present for you. Ayo, you must give away something to the coach. If you refuse to give it to me, you will give it to somebody. So if you can remember the coach's name, this coach, he brought up Fulham. I think he brought up Bournemouth. And now he's bringing, and now he's bringing up another team into the Premier League again. He brings them up. He just doesn't stay up with them. After a few months, they sack him. They say he's championship quality. He's not Premier League quality.
Okay, so he's like he's like a primary school level teacher. Kind of anything after that,
you're on your own. So yeah. So if you can tell us the name of that coach, Ayo has something for you. You must give away something today. All right. Before you give away any other thing on the show, can you tell us how we can be a part of the show so that they can collect something from you?
Well, I don't know about giving away. I don't know about giving away, but what I can give away is the number for you to join us in the locker room this morning, and that is 0809 4440981. Let me take that again: 0809 4440981. That is the WhatsApp number. Send your messages there. You can also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Uchenna is already there.
Yeah, Tayo is already bringing answers.
I don't know why you all are so excited. Tega is one that said give
no, Ayo is giving you. So Ayo, that thing that you don't want to give, you must give to me. Hey, if you know what Ayo has hammered and he refused to share, even tithe he can't pay, say he's Muslim.
I resemble giving. Please, let's talk about the NBA very, very quickly here. As Kawhi Leonard hit 39 points as the Los Angeles Clippers leveled their first round playoff series with a thrilling 105-102 win over the Denver Nuggets.
All right. On this note, let's talk about it. In the playoffs, there are some matchups that you just know that this one looks like clean sweep, like the OKC Grizzlies matchup. Though, if you want to watch Shea she'll give us Alexander. You can't go and watch it. Too. But if you want to watch a competitive game, it's not the game that I will stay up for. It's all I can say. I know that people in Oklahoma may be angry with me, but I cannot stay up for that matchup because they're always going to beat Grizzlies. If they have a bad day, maybe Grizzlies will take one game, but I expect a clean sweep in that series. But there's some other series matchup, like the Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves, like this particular one we're talking about, the Clippers against the Nuggets. Now, those are the series, like the Golden State Warriors against Houston Rockets. Those are the series that you want to stay up for. Those are the kind of series that you'll see some combativeness and some competition, all right? So the Clippers are the seventh ranked seed. They're taking on the fourth ranked seed, and you'd expect that since the Clippers came in through the play-ins, that they'd be dominated by Denver, especially with Denver having the home court advantage. First game wasn't easy. That's how Denver Nuggets almost lost, and then they came back in the fourth quarter to win this. Enter game two. Kawhi Leonard was like, I cannot have two back-to-back games where we play well and we lose.
I don't agree.
I will not take it. In the fourth quarter of game one, they found a way to keep him quiet. It was now James Harden that was knocking a few three-pointers to just keep them in it, and then take the game into overtime. But this game, Kawhi was like, whatever that defense people put in game one, I've studied it and I now know how to overcome it. And he was able to lead the Clippers to I think it was just 3 points. It was one play that the Clippers won this game by. So that series is tied at 1-0 now. We don't know where it's going to go to from here, but it is a tough one. Now, it now leads me to last night, where the Lakers took on the Minnesota Timberwolves. In case you're wondering why this is important, is Anthony Edwards, the alleged new face of the NBA, taking on old guard LeBron James. So they're passing a baton somewhere. I don't know who is passing to whom. And then also we have to talk about Luka Doncic, because remember how they traded him in the middle of the night like
shockingly.
A thief. Like shockingly, he's come up with good numbers. So game one, he played amazingly well, scored 37 points. Unfortunately, the Lakers lost game one, and they're the third ranked seed. The Timberwolves is ranked sixth, or seeded sixth rather, and they took game one, which meant they snatched Lakers home at court advantage. But the Lakers came back in game two, 31 points by Luka Doncic. But it's not just the number of points he scored, it's how versatile he is, which is why I don't understand why people want him. When they want to talk about him, they start saying, oh, but defensively, he's a little questionable. You're not going to use a Ferrari to move houses now. You get a truck for that.
I mean,
Luka Doncic is a guard. Whether it's a point guard or a shooting guard, he does it well. There's this no-look pass that he gave one time. I stood up and I was applauding, and it was the middle of the night. So,
hope you didn't wake your neighbors.
well, I woke my sister, but she's used to it by now.
Okay.
So, but he is brilliant like that and versatile like that. But he was able to drag the Lakers to win in game two. So that series too is tied 1-0. So those are the series you should look for. Again, don't watch Boston Celtics in round one, and don't watch OKC. Except you just want to watch your favorite stars play. But if you want to watch competition, those are the series to follow.
Tega has spoken. Take that. Very, very importantly. All right, from basketball, let's head over to the world of tennis, where four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka crashed out of the Madrid Open in the first round on Tuesday with a 6-4, 2-6, 6-4 defeat by Lucia Bronzetti.
At this point in time, we have to talk about what is wrong with Naomi Osaka, because there's something wrong. And I will tell you why. In this particular game, Naomi Osaka had break points after break points after break points to just win this match and move to the next round. But somehow, the four-time Grand Slam champion couldn't get over the mental hump. It's like, the more she tried, the deeper she dug herself into a situation, and then she crashes out to Bronzetti. I'm not to take away anything from Bronzetti's competitiveness. It's just that there was too much that Naomi Osaka had, and she
Right.
didn't take advantage of. And it just reminds me of when Serena was here. But the difference between Naomi Osaka and Serena is that Serena was actually getting to finals, and then it was in the finals that she had all these struggles.
Mm.
Naomi Osaka can't seem to get past a few rounds.
And
Um,
first round here.
First round here. Remember, at the French Open, before Iga Swiatek went on to win the French Open, there was that match where Naomi Osaka she was a set up and a break up in the deciding set, and she somehow managed to lose the match. So you look at this and it becomes like a psychological block. Maybe she's putting more too much pressure on herself, or maybe she's second guessing herself a little bit too much. But there's
Mm.
something going on. It's not necessarily a lot to do with her pace or her rhythm. It's more to do with her mindset.
Mm. Well, she needs to work on what's going on in her mind, whatever that is,
Yeah.
in order to get back
Super.
to her very best,
So
really.
Miriam Majid Masters is on today. Again, so the women are playing. Please go out there and watch fantastic tennis because when the men start, those are good on clay for the men.
Of
You
course.
you kind of guess the usual suspects at least until they get to the semifinals, and then you start to decide which one of your favorites will win. But yeah,
All right, talking about Madrid, let's talk about their neighbors, or at least in a football sense. Barcelona. They inched closer to the Liga title with a 1-0 win over Mallorca on Tuesday, which took them 7 points clear of Real Madrid.
yeah, they're doing the business. They're playing. I think last weekend they played the first earlier match, and then
Mm.
this match they're playing again the earlier match, and they went in against Mallorca, 40 shots at goal, 13 shots on target, one lonely goal. And again, you have to understand that this is what happens at the business end of
The
the
season, yeah.
season. Sometimes teams kind of run out of steam. Sometimes teams are just getting stubborn because they're fighting a survival battle. So it's harder to break through. But when you have 40 shots at goal and 72% possession of the ball, it means that you were camped in one particular half. So why did you just walk around and let the wall of Jericho fall down? And that's the question Hansi Flick is going to have ask himself because there were chances on the other end where they could easily have conceded and dropped points. I remember Real Madrid is just waiting in the wings to
Mm.
capitalize. So tough one for Barcelona. The good news for Hansi Flick and his boys is that they were able to come through this. The bad news though is that Ansu Fati doesn't seem to have any confidence. Granted, it was just his second, I think, or third start this season, but he didn't look it at all. And you know, Hansi Flick is trying to look for how he can manage his team. Remember, he's still going to play the Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid this weekend,
That's right.
and then he's still in the Champions League, and they're playing against Inter
Inter.
Milan, and Lewandowski is injured.
Exactly.
So he's trying to make sure that everybody earns their salary.
Mm.
And then he puts Hansi Flick in, and Hansi Flick
Ansu Fati.
he puts Ansu Fati in, and Ansu Fati just is a pace off and a rhythm short. So he needs to find something and quickly.
Mm. Needs to find something and quickly. Well, Barcelona will tell you that 1-0, 3 points. So that is the
That
important
is the
thing.
important thing.
But it could come back to bite you in another game where you're not so fortunate
Exactly.
to get that one goal. All right, let's take a very quick break. When we come back in, we're talking about Manchester City, who at the death were able to sink Villa in order to boost their top five bid. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I like the way it's top five now. Thank you. You want people to pay your honorarium to Arsenal because it's Arsenal that gave them top five. Yes. If Arsenal didn't win against Madrid, would there be five teams from England? Rather. You people should bring your money. I'll collect it on Arsenal's behalf. Yes, no, as if I want to marry an Arsenal fan. Yeah, in shock. You don't know how I managed to find my way to this thing.
We're on Third Mainland Bridge. Next thing, we reach the get that. How?
Bring the money. Since I'm the one asking, let me collect it and give it to I'm a good middleman.
As I look you.
I'm a very good middleman. I will make sure the money gets to us now. They should just bring it.
Which Arsenal are we talking about? Arsenal Football Club or Arsenal fans in Lagos? Which of the
Arsenal Football Club.
How much is the money that you want to give us?
It's not. Etihad that is bringing it. Oil money. It will be plenty now.
Okay. Even bearing that in mind, that money touch your hand, and
Oil money.
I do not get to Arsenal Football Club.
I will give them. Don't worry. You won't believe it, but I'll give them. So that there will be charges that will be taken along the way. Because bank always collects charges. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have to pay for consultation,
Yeah, all those
pay
things.
all those
And then to get to them, I'm going to be
logistics,
yes.
finder's
It's
fee.
intercontinental. I'm collecting money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia because Newcastle is involved.
Exactly. So deduct all those
Do
fees.
you understand all those fees and all those international transfer, all those things? I will get them the money. They will get it.
It's a function of how much they will try to get at the end of the day. Yeah. But they try to get money.
But they'll get money. Probably be like me buying ticket, but they'll get money.
£100 to share money.
Exactly. Money is money. If Radcliffe saw it, he would have fed his staff.
He wants everybody to lose weight by force. All of you will lose weight. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, welcome back into the locker room on a Wednesday morning. This is Smooth 98.1, your love music, love life, and love sports station. 33 minutes past 8 a.m. Yours truly is Ayokunmi. Of course, Tega with me in the studio. We are having a great time in the locker room talking sports. You need to join us as well. And what do I mean by that? Send your messages to us. Come one, come all. The WhatsApp number remains 0809 444 0981. Also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can join us right there on the live stream. Leave your comments in the chat box. I see all of you. Uchena Ukwe is right there. Abiodun Michelle is there. And your Dada, welcome to the show. Keep those messages coming in. All right, let's get back into the meat of the matter. Talking about Man City. Matheus Nunes scored a priceless stoppage time winner as Man City beat top 5 rivals Aston Villa 2-1 on Tuesday to boost their bid to qualify for the Champions League.
Yep. And it was important that they got this win. A draw wouldn't really have helped them because remember, Chelsea is still chasing. Newcastle is still chasing.
Forest is
still chasing. And if Forest win the game, I think Forest. Who is Forest playing?
Forest already played on Monday.
On Monday,
Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. I think they are also chasing.
Yeah, they're chasing.
So they're also chasing. So wait, I know Manchester City is on 61 points. And if Newcastle should win their match, they'd be on. First, it still has a game in hand. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Forest game was from the weekend. They didn't play over the weekend.
Right. Blank game.
Yeah.
Right.
So these matches are played because of the FA Cup people that are left over. That's why they're playing this match.
So if Newcastle and Nottingham Forest win,
they will go over Manchester
City, who will drop to
fifth place because they are on 61 points and Forest and Newcastle can get 3 points. I will take them to 62 points.
Exactly.
They'll now climb on top of Manchester City's head.
And Chelsea also have a game in hand. If they win that, 60 points.
No, Chelsea is still behind Manchester City small. 1 point.
1 point. If they win their own game.
If they win their own game, they'll be behind by 1 point. If not, if they draw again, Manchester City will be like, thank you, because it is now top 5 they are fighting for. Maybe as a Wenger saw the future. Remember when he used to say top 4 is a trophy? People were saying it's a lie. Now see all these people hustling for the thing as if it's not a trophy. But yeah. So good result that was required, but Manchester City, much more than the result, even the performance started looking a lot less shakier than earlier in the season or midway through the season. They're creating more chances. Some cases they're a bit more direct. I don't know if that's a function of having Mamouche, who likes to run at everything. Mamouche just seems like the baby that used to hit his head on the wall because he just likes to run through everything. So maybe that's what has aided them to be a little more direct, but they're a little more direct in their approach. They're creating more chances. But the goals will eventually come. But they're just building towards next season, and it's also important that they have European football along with their next season.
Definitely. Great win for them. Just pain me because the goals didn't have my FPL at all. But anyways, we move. Let's talk about Arsenal, where Mikel Arteta says that Bukayo Saka has a good chance to play in Wednesday's Premier League game against Crystal Palace after confirming the Arsenal winger's injury is nothing serious.
If Bukayo is not in a coma, Arteta will not agree that the injury is serious.
Even if he is, bring him to stadium first.
Bring him to stadium first. Stretcher him to the stadium. The thing is, this guy just came back from a long-term injury. So even if he's limping for limping sake, it's best not to risk him, especially with what games you have coming up against PSG in the Champions League. When you have important games like that, you don't you don't want to kill yourself. Now, the face of Crystal Palace side, granted, Crystal Palace has been a different team from the turn of January, and going all the way, getting to the quarter to the if I say
FA Cup semi-final.
FA Cup semi-final. So they are a completely different team and they can score goals. But still, there are matches that Arsenal can navigate without having to play Saka. And I think they should try to navigate today's match against Crystal Palace without having to play Saka. I know it's a London derby, and so that rivalry makes it a little more urgent and more intense. And with the chasing pack on the table, Arsenal doesn't want to get into a dicey situation. They're still, even if we add the Nottingham Forest and the Newcastle game in hand, and we give them 3 points, they're still 4 points clear. So it's it's shaky, but it's not bad.
It's highly unlikely they will drop out of the top five.
So
It's
yeah,
highly unlikely.
so I said they demand to finish second. But it's
Well,
highly unlikely to drop out of the top five, but maybe they are demanding second position. Maybe it's now their own top four. So, except that they can afford to play without Bukayo Saka. I don't think you should risk the guy that just came in from a long-term injury.
and especially a player who is so important
Yes,
to our
to your
Arsenal players.
squad for this midweek match. But hey, he needs 3 points. He's playing Crystal Palace. He will consider it important. Maybe not starting. Maybe bring him in the 70th something minutes if Arsenal still need a goal.
Maybe to give him a run of games because he was off for a while, being eased
Eh,
back into action
They
and
no
so
need
on.
to rush the boy. Leave the boy to rest. Must he play? He's
Match fitness.
he's injured. Would you want him to limp off again? Then you limp off. Then you will not have Partey and you will not have Bukayo Saka for first leg against PSG. Then you say they are cheating you.
And we know how important
And
that
we know
first
how
leg
important
is.
that first leg is. All right.
Okay, let's leave that and let's talk about Real Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti. Now, he has dismissed suggestions on Tuesday that he's under mounting pressure at the club as they sit second in the La Liga standings and were knocked out of the Champions League last week. Don Carlo, he's just being diplomatic.
Yeah. So a lot of names. Look, a lot of names and from top media platforms have been reporting things like the other time it was the club said he's going to Real Madrid or Brazil, one of the two, and then people were not saying he's talking about Klopp is talking to Real Madrid, and then Bayer Leverkusen now came out to say we have a gentleman's agreement that if a big club comes for Xabi Alonso, we'll let him go. All of that just feeding into the narrative that
Mm.
Ancelotti is definitely leaving at the end of the season, with the fact that Brazil have fired their coach. And remember
Right.
that long love letter that they allegedly sent to him one time. And so all of those things are just um, adding fuel to the fire. But the truth of the matter is, you are under pressure as long as you are a Real Madrid coach. Make no mistakes about it. What makes this worse is that they were dumped out of the Champions League. They are 4 points behind Barcelona in the La Liga chase. And on the head-to-head, which is one of
7 points.
seven, I'm just counting their
Mm.
game. They are 7 points actually
Points.
by this morning. 7 points behind Barcelona in the La Liga chase. And based on the head-to-head rule of La Liga, Barcelona is ahead because they've already won the first leg of the El Clasico.
They didn't just win; they
They
battered
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 them.
them.
They battered them in the Copa del Rey for good measure. And then they're facing Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final
Final.
this year. And based on history and antecedents between Hansi Flick and Ancelotti, they're not confident. So yes, he is under pressure, but I don't want to say that it's much more pressure than usual. I want to say that last season he had the good favor of being ahead. But because he's behind, it just seems like everybody wants to take his job. So it's a tough one for him. I don't think that should be his focus. His focus should be on chasing Barcelona in the La Liga and trying to get one back at Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's right. Well, the season is almost over and the merry-go-round will start. Let's see what happens. All right, let's head to Italy, where AC Milan can salvage something from a disappointing season with success in the Coppa Italia and do not need the motivation of spoiling neighbors Inter Milan's bid to win the treble, according to manager Sergio Conceição on Tuesday.
And they do not need the motivation, but it's in the back of their minds. It's one thing. It's one thing to knock Inter Milan out of the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia and then go through to the finals with a chance of winning something this season, seeing that they are ninth on the table. And so European football doesn't look like it's
It's out
likely
of
for
it.
them next season. It's one thing to get that, but it's another thing to knock Inter Milan out. They're like Inter Milan. It makes the pie more sweet. It adds more meat to that pie. It just changes everything about it. Beating Inter Milan to get to the final in the Coppa Italia and then stopping Inter Milan from winning the treble. My goodness, it will make all their day until at least next season when they're not playing in Europe. And that's when they'll remember that it's beating Inter Milan is not the thing. So it's a tough one, but it's important. So Inter Milan meets AC Milan um today to play in the Coppa Italia semi-final. The first leg ended in a 1-all draw, and you know they both share the same stadium.
So everybody's
So
at home.
everybody's at home. San Siro. Whether your fans are more or their fans are less, you're still on familiar ground. So first leg was 1-all draw. They're going to meet in this second leg to see if they can knock Inter Milan out to get through to the finals. And Inter Milan's game over the weekend has been postponed because of the Pope's burial.
True.
So Inter Milan's game has been postponed. So Inter Milan will also want to get this because they are not doing anything over the weekend. They might as well run themselves ragged.
Exactly. All right, Tega, before we go, very, very quickly, quick question. Can Leeds and Burnley survive in the Premier League?
Yes, if they have some good transfers and if they change their coach, especially if the coach is Scott Parker. And that is the answer to the question we've been asking earlier. So, at the start of the show, we asked which manager has brought two other clubs to the Premier League and left them there. The answer is Scott Parker.
Indeed, it is Scott Parker.
And now he's brought Burnley again to the Premier League. Now, Burnley seems to have this love-hate relationship. Promotes today, go back tomorrow. But they can stay in the Premier League if they get at least a good striker and a good midfielder. And they change their coach. Scott Parker is not the man.
In my opinion, no, these promoted teams, if you can't do what Nottingham Forest did, buy a whole new team.
That's what you need to do. You have to transfer. If you don't put money in it, Burnley, I think, can afford to at least get some buys. Leeds, I'm not sure, which is why I'm not talking too much about Leeds. But Burnley can afford to buy a few more players, just a few key pieces here and there, and they can stay in the Premier League. And sacking Scott Parker, of course. They can stay in the Premier League.
Indeed. Lucky from a papa. No, it's not Daniel Farker. He did not manage Bournemouth. He managed Fulham, not Bournemouth. So you got that wrong, but thank you for your message regardless. Tayo says, don't worry about the sharing formula. Just bring this money. I'm coming. Tega loves Arsenal, but don't tell her. Okay. After looking for where to go do guard of honor for Liverpool, we are reminded by the prophecy of Ade Wenger. Please remove Chelsea from that equation. Don't waste my calculator because title has left them. The way Arteta prioritizes Saka, I hope he's not damaged goods before he turns 25. I mean, Saka is not 25 yet. It's been like 1,000 games already.
Do you understand?
Nathan Njoku also said Scott Parker, and he says Milan have played Inter 3 times already this season, and I think they've won 1 and drawn 2. It's like Inter, they fear Milan.
Abi?
I see what you did there. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Uchenna Wokoye says Syria going down to the wire. La Liga the same. EPL is a top 4 to finish. It will be dramatic and filled with surprises. Nice win for City. Hope Arsenal does the same to boost my FPL points. I hope Saka does not play. He's not my captain. Abedum Obishato says, Viva Barca, congrats Man City. Messi also holding it down in the MLS. What a time to be alive. Madrid should just forget La Liga this year. Otilo. Ayofeda that says, I was happy for Ansu Fati last night. His performance showed signs of the old Ansu that we used to know. I hope he continues to get more playing time and gets better
better and
and
better.
better.
All right. On that note, thank you all for streaming us on YouTube. Thank you for sending your messages via WhatsApp. Thank you for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. Till I come your way again
On
on
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, we'll have more gist whether Arsenal was able to win the London Derby. If Carlos Alcaraz and Iga Swiatek are able to do well on clay, we'll talk about all of that and more inside the locker room when we come back on Friday. But for now, have a good rest of the week.
All right, Tega, have a good Wednesday and a great rest of the week till we see you on Friday. And thank you for keeping it tuned to Smooth 98.1. Do not go anywhere. 9 o'clock on Lagos Talks, a conversation about AI is coming your way. Want to find out? Keep it tuned.
We want to find out. Let me leave.